Welcome to the After the Show movie podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Ace Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello, Sid Talk. Welcome.
Yep.
I thought I'd get straight to it today.
Fantastic.
So, no intro, no nothing.
No intro.
No,
But what was the before the after the show discussion?
there wasn't any.
The before the after the show discussion was you making me do a test.
Testing,
Telling me how expensive this movie was.
testing.
And that's about it.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you made coffee.
I did. Enjoy.
And that's it. That's all there was.
So it is Sunday, March the 23rd. This is After the Show number 883. We look at a new movie every week because we are a movie review podcast. And this week is no different. When we look at the movie, The Electric State, it's a 2024 release. Actually, I'll take that back. It's a 2025 release. Out now on Netflix streaming. It's rated PG-13. Its runtime is 2 hours and 8 minutes. And Netflix sent us a copy for review. Sid Talk, can you give us the synopsis of The Electric State?
I thought you were going to work your little joke in there. You know, number 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
So Electric State 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I'll do that in the sequel.
Synopsis. Robot war in the 90s. And then brain power makes the robot corporation of the evil guy work. And there's a brother, sister, and there's some cute robots. Is that on the box?
No. All right, I'll give you the one off the
I'm
box.
shocked.
An orphan teen hits the road with a mysterious robot to find her long-lost brother, teaming up with a smuggler and his wisecracking sidekick. That's the worst synopsis I've ever read.
Yeah, and let's stop first of all and say that you're going to have to really stretch your imagination to be convinced that she's still a teenager.
It's the first thing that it struck me in the head at the beginning.
It did.
I was like, hold on a second. Hold on.
I mean, she's absolutely 100% perfect for the age that she is, but she is not a high school student.
No. And I often get confused with when American films say like grade 7 or whatever they say, those grade numbers. They don't resonate with me because the same as English ones don't with you.
Right. Well, I would say that to explain it, she's supposed to be like a senior in high school-ish, and that means she would be 17 to 18 years old.
Right. But
She was not.
No, I mean, it's Millie Bobby Brown. I don't know how old she is in real life. I haven't looked it up, but my guess would be 25.
Very possible.
22, maybe. Still, she doesn't look like a kid anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
But they try and play her off as a kid. When will they stop doing that? When she's 35?
Who knows?
Beside the point. What did you think of The Electric State?
I had a lot of fun. Period.
It was based on a graphic novel. Well, I was just reading about. It's more of a novel with pictures than a graphic novel, but it was released in 2018, this graphic novel. I'd not heard of it, so it was all a surprise to me. And when I say surprise, I say that lightly because not much surprise in this movie, right?
No, I mean, I shouldn't understate that I had a really good time. I was in a really good mood to watch a movie, and we had our little cozy hot cup of tea, and it's a rainy, blustery day. And so I was just in the mood for movie watching. And so I had a good time.
And you didn't know what was coming up.
I had no clue what it was about whatsoever. Zero. And it's so far over. Okay, so it's set in the 1990s, so there was no robot war in the 90s. We all know this. So I always find that a bit weird, where you're just rewriting history that's already happened, especially recent history, right?
Yeah.
If you had said it was 2028, right, or 2030, and there was a robot war, but the interesting thing is you put it back there, and then it's instantly like, okay, I'm in comic book territory, different dimensions or whatever. So I've just got to go with it. And then she's not a teenager, which was very difficult for me to get my head around at first. And then I just sort of went with it because the robots are beautiful and cute. And it's really fun to see, you know, a world where there's old fashioned looking robots mixed with high technology.
The robots are similar in style. If you've played the video game Fallout or seen the TV show, they've got that kind of kitschy kind of thing to them.
Yeah, because they rewrote the history of the 50s as well. They claim in the movie, the story is that Disney World or Disney is the one that created the original help bots in the 50s. And so they have that very old-fashioned advertisement look about them. Like Mr. Peanut is actually a giant mechanical peanut, from the ads. So
yeah, they're all very cute.
Yeah.
And you can't help but...
My favorite, if you're asking, is the post office lady.
The post office lady was very funny.
She's awesome.
I think I like a bag of popcorn that I was kind of fond of.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's what they look like. They're kitschy, fun, and nothing's very serious. It's kind of cute, right?
Yeah.
The fate of the whole thing and the thing is serious, I guess.
Absolutely.
Now, I just read about the graphic novel, and the graphic novel is dark as shit.
Sounds like it.
Apparently, they made a PG-13 version of the graphic novel, because the graphic novel, if you go and read that, has a lot more adult stuff. This is it's kid-friendly, I would say. There's no swearing, there's no...
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad.
There's... Even the violence is just like, the sci-fi violence, like stuff being... True. Robots being squished and...
But we have an evil Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
Who doesn't care about murdering people or children.
Yeah, and it's also got a bit of Ready Player One about it.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so the thing is, this guy invented this neural network, which, like Ready Player One, you go into VR and half of your brain can be working. So you are doing your job. Not your body is not doing your job. It's like you're running a robot with your face in it, doing your job, like sweeping the floor or going to work at the hospital, whatever. And the other half of your brain, the part that you want to be tapped into, is like on vacation on a beach. And so this is a little bit different. But that's where we're at. Like, the whole world is kind of doing this. And the message is very heavy.
Very.
Not to get addicted to technology. And don't get, like, too wrapped up in disconnecting from human connection. I always find that a bit preachy. But that was what it was all about. That the humans were getting to where they wouldn't even... There was a guy laying on the street with one that you could plug into, like, on the street, put it on your head, and then he's just laying in the street.
Like Tesla charging station type thing.
Yes. So he's doing VR, but he's just like his body's dying while he's laying there in the street. So it was pretty severe.
Yeah, it was preachy. Even right down to Millie Bobby Brown, teenager, looking into the camera and doing a speech at the end.
Absolutely.
Which I thought was a bit laying it on too thick at that point.
It was a bit.
It was like, I get all that from what we just watched. I don't think I need her saying it to the camera.
Absolutely.
Because, so heavy-handed,
the person right next to you, it's real connection. It's a real person, and don't be da-da-da. And I'm like...
But hold on. She should have said, but hold on. Don't switch off Netflix, because we need you to keep watching. You can look at the person next to you, but carry on watching whatever's up next.
Oh, it is a bit hypocritical now that you mention it.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought the special effects were absolutely excellent.
Yes. The robots were just super fun. I loved it.
I mean, it's not even on a small scale. There's a giant battle at the end. And it's like Ready Player One. That has a giant battle at the end as well. And it really reminded me of it. But it's not all like licensed. Well, it is, isn't it? They are licensed things.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of...
Like you say, Mr. Peanut. And there's other ones, isn't there, around there that were real things. Like in the diner where he went in and...
No, it wasn't real, no. I didn't see any others that were... I mean, I saw a McDonald's sign on the wall, but it wasn't a robot.
Right. But there's robots. They go to this mall. It's full of all these... Every robot's different. You get to look at lots of different ones.
Well, we have to add in here that the idea is humans made all the robots, and then the robots became somewhat sentient and wanted their freedom.
Yes.
They fought back. That caused a war. And then this guy figured out somehow how to run his neural network and then defeat all the robots. And then they made a dead zone. So we have like Escape from New York or the Baddens. What were they called? The Bad Bunch, where they've cordoned off a section of the country, like 100,000 square miles, but a big giant wall around it. And that's where they've put all of the discarded robots to just go battle it out for themselves. And so inside of here, we have Mr. Peanut, who wants to help build a robot civilization. And so they have this mall that's like a broken down dirt mall. And it's all these cute robots who are just trying to have a little community. And that was my favorite part, I think.
Yeah. At first, they were kind of aggressive because they thought that,
sure,
you're coming after us kind of thing. But they were throwing fridges at them. I mean, the giant robot that picks up a VW camper van.
Oh, yeah, that was so good.
And they're in the camper van and it's on its shoulder and it's just walking along through the landscape with them in it.
Yes.
It's crazy big special effects that you're...
Super fun.
Yeah. And they're all really good. It's made by the Russo brothers who came, they've been in the Marvel thing for years and years and now they're out of the Marvel thing. So it does have that Marvel-y, like playing the music at the right times and... It almost felt like Guardians of the Galaxy with the music. And it also has Star-Lord in it, who looks just like Star-Lord.
Well,
he's even wearing like the vest like Star-Lord
after his haircut, as you pointed.
Yeah. So I couldn't help thinking of like, why didn't they make him look a bit different? Or do you really need to play like all these key like Guardians of the Galaxy type? It plays like... but
maybe that's just how Chris Pratt is, because he's the same in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but he doesn't have like popular songs playing every 2 minutes.
Oh, the whole thing. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That whole, vibe.
But you know what? It worked for Galaxy. So why not try it here, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it did feel like, they're just doing that again to try and make you feel something,
True.
Look, they're playing a Journey song. Oh, that kind of thing.
Well, it kind of worked on me, so I guess it's...
Yeah, and the music's from the era of the movie. The movie takes place in what did you say?
I don't think it was from the era.
No, it isn't actually, is it?
No.
Because it's 80s music mostly.
Correct.
And it takes place in the 90s. So I guess the music before the war broke out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, anything else to say on the movie?
No.
I mean, the movie's pretty standard. There's a bad guy. There's a quest to get from one place to another.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci has mommy issues from his childhood that his mother was an alcoholic and she was terrible. And so in his quest to make a VR version of his mommy, who was nice and made him cannolis and everything, he then decides to take over the world with technology to basically run everybody else's brains.
And he is very Steve Jobs caricature. He wears the glasses and the turtleneck, the black turtleneck. Yeah. I was going to say it's not trying to be clever, but I think they think they're trying to be clever, aren't they? Oh, look, let's have a Steve Jobs type guy. But yeah, it's all very obvious, I would call it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really much for me in the way of a surprise. It actually went the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
It's very standard, right? Aside from like the cool sci-fi-ness of it.
True.
Okay, she has to get from A to B. There's a bad guy at B. And then we have to take down a bad guy. That's the story. There's not really much to it, right?
With cute robots.
And some evil robots along the way also.
And I like them both. Their performances are fine-ish.
Let's talk about the cast. Chris Pratt plays Keats. Now, what I would say about Chris Pratt, and like you said, he's kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, he felt... Imagine they had like a whole boatload of outtakes from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It feels like this movie was cobbled together from those. Like, it feels like he was being Star-Lord.
I don't know if that's fair.
He was wisecracking, just like Star-Lord. And he almost seemed like he wasn't in it properly. Like he wasn't very enthusiastic about it. He just seemed like he was going about it. And I'd never really felt anything from him. There's even an emotional scene towards the end. It didn't really. Did it you?
Oh, you mean in the booth?
No, when he's talking to his robot friend on the battlefield.
But again, maybe that's just Chris Pratt, and we've overestimated him.
I think it is, actually. Because if you think, those Jurassic Park movies that you talked about, it's just Chris Pratt. You can't get Chris Pratt out of your head. You don't remember the name of the guy he's playing.
True.
It's just Chris Pratt, right? So if you like Chris Pratt, he does it again. He just does that. So
he does a good job of being who he is.
yes. And it's so close to Star-Lord, it is distracting to me.
Okay.
It's like they didn't even bother. He has this weird wig on all of the movie.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like he's like from a 70s rock band or something.
Yes.
And then there's a haircutting robot that gives him a haircut. And then when he's had a haircut, he's just Star-Lord. He's got Star-Lord's haircut. Up to that point, I was like, oh, he's like a shitty 70s Star-Lord. And then I was like, oh.
You mean 90s?
Well, with the 70s hair.
Oh, like true.
And then once he had the haircut, I was like, oh, now he's just Star-Lord. Like I can't get that out of my brain.
Fixated a little bit on the Chris Pratt appearance.
Also, if you look at him even on the poster, look at the outfit he's wearing. It's freaking Star-Lord. I mean, maybe that was what they were going for.
Absolutely, because like I said, if it works.
Yeah.
Right?
Millie Bobby Brown plays Michelle, again, the world's oldest teenager.
I don't want to pick on her because, I mean, you take a role and it sounds right. It's just that it wasn't working. All they had to do was to say she was about to graduate college instead of high school. That's all they had to do, because that would have been more plausible. My brain would have been like, okay, I can accept that. That's all they had to do. But no, they had to put her in high school with other high school kids, which was also a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, when she was in that classroom, it felt like it was an adult paying a visit to the classroom compared to all the others.
Performance-wise, I feel like there were times of goodness and times of flatness and times of... She had lines that were so...
Straight up bad.
Yes. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
this movie has such a good vibe and I really enjoy it. And then there's that.
Yeah. I even noticed it. I was like, oh... Is that just bad script, or is that her being bad?
Is that me, or I think she's just doing what they give her, and that's fine. It's just that the whole of it was a bit...
Woody Harrelson, he's the voice of Mr. Peanut. I mean, you guessed who he was.
Yeah.
Even when you said it was Woody Harrelson, and I listened to the voice, I couldn't pick up Woody Harrelson. So, he's doing a good not being Woody Harrelson.
Well, he's doing like one of these. And
like that.
Old Mr. Peanut.
And we've got Ke Huy Quan, who is Short Round from Indiana Jones. He plays Dr. Amherst. What do you think of him?
Again, just functional. I mean, yes, he does have
what
he
does, right?
He does.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's
Yeah.
Interchangeable. I don't want to be cruel. I just think, maybe the movie itself is sort of like plug and play. You plug a bunch of people in, you give it some fun robots, you've got an interesting-ish message.
Yeah.
And it's all going to work because it's got the fun music and you're rooting for the robots. I was anyway.
Oh, I was. I couldn't care less about the
I totally was rooting for the robots. And so the whole package, fun, good, forgettable. Except I want a figure of Penny the post office lady.
Yeah. So we've got Giancarlo Esposito as the marshal. Like, he seems to be getting...
Chicken Man from...
Breaking Bad.
Okay, just so everybody's on the same page.
He's getting typecast into these roles, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's in Star Wars playing these roles.
At least he had an arc.
Yeah, yeah.
He had he's one guy in the beginning and he's a different guy in the end. Nobody else had that.
No. This actor is just playing the same roles.
Yeah.
You could compare him to Chris Pratt. He was also playing the same roles.
Oh, my.
And then finally, we got Stanley Tucci as Ethan Skate. He's the Steve Jobs lookalike.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mustache twirler.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
And it's fine for what this is.
True.
I like it when the marshal says to him, you may be wrong in the head.
You may be wrong in the head.
And he's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's a crazy billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't give a crap. He just wants to get his thing done, his project.
He wants to make mommy not an alcoholic in his little world. That is what his whole motivation was. So he can just sit in there
and be okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got problems. He might be wrong in the head. Directed by the Russo brothers, who also directed a bunch of Marvel movies, including Endgame. What do you think of these guys' direction?
I mean, it's a big production.
I mean, they're used to that.
Da, 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 da. And I think it's functional. There's nothing.
Artistically, it's really cool.
The robots, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're what make the whole thing, right? The way it looks. It's actually flawless when it comes to like the CG part of it. You can be looking at...
I disagree. There are times when it was a little bit...
Oh, for me, I'm totally like, well, these things are cool. Like
the robots, but there are action moments when I had to kind of
it gets really over the top at the end. When the robots are walking around, in the mall, for instance, I said to you, I wonder if they've actually made some of these robots, or are they all CG? And I still don't know. I don't want to know. Maybe they made them.
Don't break the illusion.
So IMDb reviews, what are those?
Those are reviews on IMDb. I mean, how much more self-explanatory?
Correct.
There's a website called the Internet Movie Database. It's been around for 150 years. Look it up. And you go on there because people can get on their phones and on their tablets and on their laptops, and they can say, this is the worst movie ever made. This movie is too woke. This movie wasted my time. I want my money back. I don't know why people are saying this movie is good. And then they get their little thumbs off their phones and they slather butter all over their face while they sit there and watch another movie that they're probably going to criticize.
And people seem kind of mad about this movie, and they don't like it because there's a lot of 1 stars.
Okay.
First guy says, corporate slop.
Corporate slop, okay. Got it.
The book with the artwork is beautifully unsettling and a critique of modern American consumer culture. But this movie, they made a rush CGI action movie with Chris Pratt. Honestly, just kind of disgusting how badly they've missed the point. Go and buy the book and don't watch this Netflix slop.
Oh, so Netflix is the corporation. Got it.
Yes.
I wasn't sure what they were referring to.
Second guy says, the Russo brothers are horrible directors. When are people going to get that the Russo brothers can't tell apart a great story from a meaningless piece of malarkey? Malarkey.
You mean like the Wachowskis?
Yeah.
Yeah, people say that too.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And the third person says, absolutely disrespectful to the book. All you people giving this movie 5 stars out of 5 need to read the book to understand that the movie is completely different and is made for a saccharine era of Netflix.
It is quite saccharine. I will have to agree with that one.
After just going through what was different in the book on Wikipedia, just for a bit of research, the book does sound much more interesting than the movie. Yeah, it seems like they got rid of all the controversial parts and anything that was slightly adult or something that might offend somebody. So yeah, they did saccharine it up, didn't they? That's what they did. They took the idea and the visuals and made it into a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie, right?
Yes, of course.
Now, is that a bad thing?
They did a formula. They put it in AI.
Yes.
They put Guardians of the Galaxies combined with robots, Chris Pratt /11.
Yeah.
And Short Round.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. Steve
it has all the things you like. The Chicken
Steve
Man.
Jobs, Elon Musk, Facebook meta guy, evil story,
Mr. Peanut for some
1990s.
Yeah.
And voila, there's your movie.
I mean, maybe that's the joke. They did do that. If I didn't know about the book at all, I hadn't read it, and just went to see this as it is, it comes across as a run-of-the-mill sci-fi type movie. I mean, it doesn't feel special in any way, apart from the designs of the robots, which I don't feel like I've seen before in anything. They're very unique, right? And that's what makes this kind of interesting to watch. I don't think the humans are very interesting at all. And it's the same as those new Jurassic Park movies. As soon as the humans start speaking, also Godzilla, I'm like, can we just get back to the robots or the monsters? Because the humans just so... Also, Millie Bobby Brown, she was in that Godzilla. And whenever she was on the screen, I was like, can we just get back to Godzilla, please? I've told you, my idea for the Godzilla is to not have any humans in it. We don't need them, right?
Okay.
Just have a really good story with only the monsters.
What would the story be?
The monsters are having a fight.
I know, but that's not a story.
We don't need to be in our
That isn't
world.
A story.
Yeah.
So you just want a monster fight.
Yes.
Okay, that's not a story.
Well,
I'm glad you don't run Hollywood.
I'm not the Russo brothers. let's give this movie a score. I am going to give The Electric State a 6 out of 10.
I think that's fair. Maybe I may go 6.5.
If I did points, I'd maybe go up a little bit, yes. Visually, I can't fault it. It was awesome. Like, I was really enjoying it.
Yes.
Story-wise, I think it's a bit flat and preachy.
Preachy is the point. Like,
yes.
Everybody come together. That's the idea.
Stop watching Netflix and look at each other. That's not the right...
Oh, but don't stop watching Netflix.
Yeah. Stop watching Netflix until the credits are up and then go back to something else. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a popcorn flick. It even has a popcorn robot in it.
Yes.
But it'll never be shown on the big screen. It's just a Netflix movie. This is a movie that should be on the big screen, right? With giant robots running around. Electric State, 6 out of 10. Sid Talk, 6 out of 10.
6.5.
All right. Next week, we're looking at the new Steven Soderbergh movie, Presence. Do you know him? Do you know it?
I know it. I know him. I don't know it.
Right, we'll look at that next week. Movie recommendations. I am going with, seeing as Millie Bobby Brown was here, Stranger Things.
Okay.
The new season is this summer. And luckily, it's 10 years later or something.
Okay, thank goodness.
Right? Because otherwise, we'd be saying it again. Why is Millie Bobby Brown? No, she's not a child. And my other one is because the Chicken Man is in this. It's not Breaking Bad, even though I love Breaking Bad. It's Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, which
really focused a lot on the Chicken Man. If you watched Breaking Bad, and I know a lot of people who did watch Breaking Bad, but didn't watch Better Call Saul because they don't like spin-offs. Well, Better Call Saul actually deals with the Chicken Man a lot, right?
True.
He's in it a lot. So if you really wanted the more story of the Chicken Man, that's the one to watch. Better Call Saul.
That's a good one. Is that it? Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So mine are going back to horror movies from the beginning of time, or the beginning of cinema, which was the beginning of the 19th century-ish. And I'm up to 1960s. And I've got some good ones this time. Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Excellent.
We see pop up on streaming channels all the time, and it never gets old to hear, "They're coming for you, Barbara." And then she screams and screams and screams and screams. Rosemary's Baby, 1968. I didn't realize that's 1968.
Yes.
I was 1 year old, and I probably watched that movie when I was about 8.
Oh.
Inappropriately. And that might have got me started on the road to liking horror movies. I don't know.
I watched it just after I watched The Exorcist, because I'd seen The Exorcist. I was way too young.
I think I'd seen Rosemary's Baby, and guess what? Dr. Phibes Rises Again coming up here in 1972, which I watched on a New Year's Eve when my parents went to somebody's house. I was with all the kids, and they were all stupid and being noisy, and I just wanted to lay on the floor in front of the TV and watch Dr. Phibes Rises Again. But the children were being obnoxious. That's with Vincent Price. Jaws, 1975, and The Exorcist, 1973. So, yes, I was also watching The Exorcist probably by the time I was by the time it was on TV later, I was too young to watch it as well. But I did watch it.
Yeah. And I remember watching The Exorcist and wanting to watch any horror movie possible. Like
absolutely.
Anything that the video store had that looked like The Exorcist, I would want to watch it.
Well, we didn't have any video stuff going on in the 70s or the early 80s for us.
I didn't get to see it until,
right.
Mid-80s, maybe?
We had 3 channels. I was in a small town. So you had ABC, NBC, CBS. And the only time they had these kind of movies on was after hours on a Saturday or a Friday night.
Right.
And I didn't have a bedtime. So I would stay up and probably shouldn't have been watching them, but I was.
Here's the thing that happened. I just had this memory. When I was a teenager, A Nightmare on Elm Street came out in America. I don't know what year that was.
It was 86. Well, but I don't know for sure.
That in England, movies didn't come, like if they opened in America, they didn't really come to England for another year. I read it on Fangoria magazine. I'd read it on the front that Nightmare on Elm Street is the big hit in America. And I actually managed to get a dodgy VHS of an American version of, I don't know, I think somebody filmed it in the cinema, and that's how I saw it.
Oh.
So it was really bad quality, and somebody's head You could see the head in front of it was literally somebody sat in the theater with a camera.
That's funny.
And that's how I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street. So it's really funny when you see a really good copy of it now, because I've got this memory of this weird version.
Well, for The Exorcist, I had never seen her crawling.
No, you hadn't.
On her back down the stairs ever until...
Or her having a pee.
Nope.
Yeah.
Or the crucifix thing.
Yes.
So I'd only ever seen it on very heavily edited.
You'd seen the
TV version.
The saccharine version, as we said earlier.
Well, it wasn't saccharine. But yeah.
Nice. That's not the way to see The Exorcist.
No.
It removes all the shock value, because it does have some shock value. Even now, I think it works. Don't you?
Now it sort of feels like unnecessary, because you know what she had to go through, and like the guy was obsessed with,
yeah,
being that asshole filmmaker guy. So I don't know.
You can't deny a classic.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, Scully stuff this week. I've been playing a new game, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's the latest in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Takes place in Japan in like the 1500s. Have you seen any of this, Sid Talk?
I have.
I love Assassin's Creed games. This one was getting some bad press, people saying they didn't like it, etc. Reviewers.
Mm-hmm.
I knew in my mind that whatever they thought of it, didn't like it. I just like Assassin's Creed. I like running around their world. I like the historical element to it.
Are you saying you're not led by the mindless drones of pointless reviews?
Exactly.
Right on.
Because Assassin's Creed comes with like the history, the whole history. So in this one, it's, feudal Japan. And they dip into the whole history of that era. So all the different games have a different era. There's been ones in Italy. There's been just all these different ones. There was one in ancient Greece. And you get to learn as you're playing. And they even have like a mode when you are exploring in this one. And you come across this beautiful hillside and you see a big temple up on the top of the hill. If you look at it and press your right trigger, it brings up a whole thing with everything about it, like a tour guide. It's like this is a temple. It was built in this time. It was built for this reason. These are the things that happened there in history. So you can like have a nice sightseeing kind of thing.
You love that.
Yeah. And that's like new to this one, really. It's like you just look at it and you hold your trigger and then it gives you the details. And I find myself, every time I find something, a new place, I bring up that card and read it so I can understand what this place is all about. Otherwise, it's just another place, right? So it's a really cool game. It's you're an assassin in this one, and it's Japan. So you're like a shinobi / ninja. She's got throwing stars. She's got a samurai sword. Remember that guy from Kill Bill, Hattori Hanzo, who made this sword? He is in this game.
Oh, okay.
He literally turns up and makes you a sword.
It is a bit Kill Bill-ish because she's on a revenge quest.
It is very, yes.
Yeah.
So if you like that kind of revenge quest thing with the ancient Japanese vibe, this is the game to play. And it's huge again, like all the Assassin's Creed games. Don't buy this and rush through it. Savor it, let it, you might be playing it for 6 months. It's so big. I think they're saying it's 40 hours to complete the story, but 100 plus hours to like do everything and find everything. It's not the kind of game to rush through because you don't get one of these very often. The last one was like 5 years ago. So Assassin's Creed.
They can play however they want.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the way to play. I think you should savor it. Like GTA 6 comes out this year. The last GTA game was in 2013, right?
You're saying you're going to take 10 years to play this one?
I will try to make it last 10 years.
I know you do try to make games last.
I really do, yeah. And no, obviously I can't make it last 10 years, but I mean, there's big gaps in between games now. Back in the day, like in the early 2000s, there was so many games all the time. Seems like the games business has slowed down, a lot.
They're lazy and they've become corporatized and they've got all the bullshit about we want to work smarter, not harder, and make $1 billion instead of all at once, instead of like, $500 million twice. And I think that has drained the life out of it.
And that's what you just said there. That's the truth.
Was 100% correct.
But what they say is oh, games just take longer to make. They're so much more complicated. That's what they say. I mean, that might be true as well, but I think it's the other, really.
Yeah, it is the other.
Yeah, we need to. And I love companies like Rockstar, who they make GTA. It's the biggest selling game of all time. But they don't rush. They say to their publisher, you know, we're not ready. It's not out yet. It might be out next year.
Deal with it.
And then they've said last year, they even put out a trailer and said it'll be out in fall 2025. That's not set in stone, in my opinion, because they do get delayed. If they're not ready, they won't put it out. I like that, where they'll wait and the game will be really good when it does come out, instead of rushing it out and it being crappy, you know, or buggy or whatever. So that's Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm playing it on the PC. It's out now. Sid Talk, what's for dinner?
Something Mexican-y. You know, I've got salsa,
cheese,
guacamole, cheese, refried beans, chips, tortillas. I might not have tortillas, maybe in the freezer, but I'll work it out. Maybe nachos with some plant-based crumbles. The reason we're telling you what we're eating is because we're vegetarian and people think, oh, man, that's my impression of anyone I think is an idiot.
Yeah.
You don't eat meat. So we're telling you what to eat because we're not starving to death and we're totally fine. And you can eat whatever you want. If you want to cook up your own finger and eat it, I don't care. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. I'm just saying, you're entitled to eat whatever you want.
The trouble with that snack, though, is you can't have it too often.
10 times at least.
Yeah. Well, I would say, 8 times, because I'm not really into the thumb.
That's what she said. Oh, dang.
All right. And what's your advice? And let's get out of it.
My advice is going to include a little bit of thanking my niece and nephew for coming over the weekend. They came from opposite directions, about the same distance, and spent the day yesterday and my niece overnight going through my mother's things, their grandmother who passed away a few months ago. And it's difficult, right? It's fucking difficult. And my advice is let things that are difficult be difficult. I don't need to soften it up. I mean, it's fine. We're going through everything, jewelry and paperwork and a van full of things like clothes and Christmas decorations. And it's confronting. It's also fun, right? But I'm not trying to overly make it fun and happy. If something hits you and you just all of a sudden you get that thing in the front of your face where you're going to start bawling, do it. Let it be difficult. Because it's hard, It's a hard thing to do. Maybe sometimes we need difficult things to just be difficult and feel it and then learn new ways of coping and a new way of moving through that difficulty into something better. If you deny the difficulty or you try to mangle it and manipulate it into something easy and softer, and it's not so hard. If we do this, that, and the other, well, then you're really not confronting it at all. And in your heart and your gut, it's difficult. So you're just repressing. So then as you move past that moment and past that task, you're still holding on to the holy shit, that was hard.
Yeah.
And then it comes out a different way and you don't have a way to cope with it because you never actually let it be difficult. And so that's my advice. Let it be difficult, fall apart, do whatever you're going to do, shake it off, absorb it, use it, get the task done because things have to get done, and then keep going, Yeah. That's it.
All right. Thank you.
No, thank you.
ascully.com. That's the place you can go to get this podcast. You can also go to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, and Blue Sky. You can't get the podcast on Blue Sky. That's just where we'll be.
Not yet.
Not yet. You can go to Instagram, though, and you can also go to Twitter to find us. You can email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Do not email Sid Talk. She doesn't want your email. And stay classy, Mr. Chris Pratt. Maybe be something else in the next movie. Not Chris Pratt.
Harsh. I'm going to say think for yourself, because if you're not doing it, someone's doing it for you.